Before we start the video, I would like to announce that there are in fact memberships for the channel now. You can click that join button below all of my videos next to the subscribe button. You can click join and you can see there are two tiers for memberships on the channel. You can see just for $4.99 a month, you can join to have access to exclusive videos once a week. I'll be posting one once a week, and there'll be a Discord server for you guys to join as well. And if you guys would like to add a little extra contribution to the channel, you can pay $8.99. And through this perk, you can actually talk to me privately on Discord. I cannot wait to see you guys in the Discord server and enjoying the exclusive videos that I will be posting from now on. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to On Point Politics. And today I'm going to be talking about my 2024 weekly presidential prediction. If you guys enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post bell notifications so you don't miss another video that I post. And without further ado, let's get into it. And so basically, as of right now, we are going to fill out the safe states for Donald Trump, which is going to be, some of the Great Plains, the middle of the country. Ohio and Iowa will, in fact, be over 10-point victories. South Carolina will also be a 10-point victory or above, as well as all of the districts in the at-large district for Nebraska will also be. And so, as well as Alaska, I think Alaska is actually going to be over that 10-point threshold now. So it is added to Trump's safe column. I also think that the second district in Maine will also be a safe margin for Donald Trump. If you look at Joe Biden's safe states, I think he will win Washington, Oregon, California by safe margins. I think he will also win Colorado by over 10 points, Illinois, and New York. My previous characterization of New York did have it as a state where it was under a 10-point win, but based out of the model that I kind of have that I made for this election, I am going to put it above that 10-point category, but it is still like an 11, 12-point win for Biden only. So that's going to help Donald Trump in the popular vote quite a bit. And if you look at states like Vermont, Massachusetts, not New Hampshire. If you look at states like Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, and DC, these will all be safe Democratic states, as well as the first district in Maine will also be a safe Democratic state, including Hawaii, even though Hawaii will probably get closer than usual. And so now we're going to be getting into the likely states for Donald Trump. If you look at the state of Texas, the state of Texas is going to be a likely victory for Donald Trump. If you look at the state in 2020, the state in 2020 barely voted, just over 5 points. Trump was able to flip a lot of southern counties here, and he kind of improved his margins in the southern border, which really helped him, keep his margin in Texas. And a lot of Tejano voters kind of kept the president's victory in check for him. If he hadn't had these massive gains in southern Texas, Texas would have probably been very, very competitive. And so because of that, I do think it is going to be a 5-point win. According to my model for the 2024 election, it has it at a 9-point win. But I think, to be honest with you, the model may or not be overestimating Trump. So I do think it's going to be an 8-point win. I also think that Florida will be about a 8 or 9 point win. If you look at the state here, you can see that Miami-Dade got significantly closer compared to 2016. Clinton won it by about 30 points here, but in 2020, Biden only won it by 7 points, as well as Palm Beach County got significantly closer, including Broward County. All the southern counties of Miami did get slightly closer. However, Trump did basically, did worse in the rest of the state pretty much, but these shifts in the southern Miami area did help him improve his margin, even though he did worse everywhere else. And my model does currently have him winning the state by 13 points, which may be an overestimation in the polling. So I do actually think that it is going to be an 8 or 9. But you know what? We're actually going to put it as like a 10-point win. We'll put it as a 10-point win. It'll probably be 10 points as of right now, especially with Trump's lead in the popular vote. We'll put it at exactly a 10-point win. Now, for the next state on the map, I actually do think that Minnesota will be a lean Democratic state. If you do look at the state in 2020, it voted for Biden by 7 points. Biden massively improved in some of the outer counties outside of Minneapolis, and Minneapolis did get significantly more Democrat in 2020, as well as these bordering counties did get more Democratic. And so, because of that, I do actually think that even though Trump will probably improve a lot in the popular vote. I think it is going to trend to the left. My model currently has it. Let's find it over here. The model currently has it as a 4.5 point victory for Biden, but I think that it'll probably be a 3 point win for him, in my opinion. I think means a large district will also be a likely margin as well. I think Virginia and New Mexico will also be likely victories for Biden. I think that my models currently have him winning New Mexico by 5 and Virginia by 6, and as well as that, Maine's at large is also a 6 point victory. So all those characterizations do seem pretty reasonable. I do think Trump will improve in these states, but I don't think he will drop them below those 5 point thresholds. And at this point, you are left with basically all of the swing states on the map. And so I do think that the first one that I'm going to mark down is North Carolina. I think North Carolina will be a 4.5 point win. I think Donald Trump's going to improve there massively. My model currently has it as a 8 point win for Trump, but I think that is going to be a big overestimation for Trump. So I do see him winning the state by probably 4.5 points. I think that is a reasonable characterization. I also think that New Hampshire will probably be a lean Democratic state. Right now, my model currently has it at a 7 point win, but Biden basically won it by that same amount in 2020. And incumbents usually tend to underperform in the state. It is a very anti-war, anti-incumbent state. Same thing as Alaska. They're both very similar in terms of the anti-incumbent factor. So I do think the state will drop below the 5 point threshold. It'll probably be a 3-4 point win for Biden, kind of similar to how Minnesota is. But that's basically how I have it as of right now. And as of right now, I do think that Wisconsin would be a lean Republican state. My model currently has it at a 5 point win, but I actually think that this is an overestimation of the model. Right now, Biden barely won the state in 2020, and there's a lot of room for Trump to grow in some of these counties. You can see before, Obama had won it in 2012. All of these rural counties were very, very close, not even red at all, and you had a lot of these very deep blue counties basically flip super Republican by the time that we got to the election. And then Biden was able to flip a county back, or actually it was two counties. He was able to flip two counties back. So the slight improvements in the state did help him actually win the election there. But I do, in fact, think that Trump will probably improve there a lot. I think he will win it by about like maybe 2.5, 3 points. According to my estimation, I think he'll win it by 2 or 3 points in this scenario. The next state I'm going to fill out is Nevada. I do actually think that Nevada will be like a 3 point win for Trump as well. If you look at the state voted exactly the same in 2020 compared to 2016, which means it has trended to the left, or excuse me, to the right of the country. And so all Trump's got to do is basically just improve in the Clark and Washoe County areas, and he pretty much has the state. I mean, all of these, and then just improve a little bit more in the rural counties, because he can definitely improve a little bit in the rural counties 100%. But I do think in this election, he's polling really well there. He's polling out like 5 points ahead of Biden. I believe that is factored into my model. As of right now, the full average has him ahead by 3.2, but the RCP average currently has him ahead by about like 5 points. So I do think, according to my model, it's a 6 point win, but I think that's very outlandish. So I will have it at a 3.5 point win. And so the next state on the map, I think, is Georgia. I think Georgia will be like a 2 point win for Trump. He's going to massively improve with African American voters in this election. Currently, the model has it at a 3.7 win for Trump. If you look at the state of Georgia, the state of Georgia has massively gotten more and more Democratic because a lot of the Atlanta area started voting more Democrat, and then Biden won the counties by ridiculous margins in 2020. But without that really, really high turnout from African American voters, he's probably not going to be able to get the same turnout necessary in order to win the state of Georgia. So I do think that even though the state's trending to the left, I still think that Trump will probably win the state by about 2 points, maybe like a point and a half. Now, for the next state, I think Pennsylvania will be a state that Trump wins by about a point and a half, maybe like a point. The model currently has it as a 4.6 victory, but I think that the state will trend to the left ever so slightly. And so, because of that, even though Trump will improve in the rural areas, will improve in Philadelphia because of the African American vote, I do think white suburban women and college educated voters will make the state still trend a little bit to the left. So I do think that even though Trump massively improves in the popular vote, I still think that, Trump probably is going to win the state by about a point and a half. And I have to let you guys know, currently the polling average right now has Trump up by 2 points, and I factor in the swing, but this is basically tracking the polling as of right now. In my personal opinion, I think Biden's probably going to win the popular vote by maybe a point or half a point as of right now. So this is based off of that projection. So based off of Biden winning the popular vote by like a point, half a point, this is pretty much what I'm seeing is going to happen. And I can actually show you guys what the model shows me when I do factor that in. If I have Biden winning the popular vote by like half a point, I'll show you what that looks like. So you could see that it is very close to what I have here. If you look at the state of Arizona, the state of Arizona has trended massively to the left, but I do still think that Trump will pick it off. I think Carrie Lake is going to perform very, very well there in the Senate race. I think Trump will improve in Maricopa County. The model currently has it as a 5 point win, but that's with Trump winning the popular vote by 2 points. I still don't think that he'd even get close to that. I think he'll barely win the state in this scenario. The Nebraska second district will probably be about a 2 point win for Biden, maybe a point and a half win in this scenario. My model currently has it as like the closest state on the entire map right now, and it's barely going for Biden, but I think as of right now, it's still going to go for Biden by a pretty comfortable margin, considering that he's only winning the popular vote by half a point. And I think that Michigan will, in fact, be a lean margin. And yes, you guys are not deceived. I do have Michigan as more red than Arizona. I think that Arizona, with the white suburban trends and just that anti Trump coalition of Republicans, is making the state very, very Democrat. But I do think that with Trump improving with African American voters, will actually allow him to win the state by over a point. Well, he'll probably win it by just slightly under what he'll win Pennsylvania by, in my personal opinion. If you do look at the state in 2020, it did vote for Biden by a lopsided margin, but that was because of the auto bailout from 2008, and a lot of voters, rewarded, Obama and Biden because of that. And so I do think that the state will probably vote for Trump by about a point and a half due to improvements with working class voters and African American voters. And so this is basically it for my map for this week. It's still 312 to 226 electoral college votes. Michigan got slightly redder. Arizona is basically about the same. Florida is basically a little bit redder than what I had it on my last map. And I think as of right now, this is a pretty reasonable map. If I do actually show you guys what it would look like if Biden wins the popular vote in my model by like half a point, it's actually quite funny, but Trump barely ends up winning the presidential election in this scenario. He barely wins it because he wins Wisconsin, he wins Pennsylvania, wins Arizona, and wins Nevada. But he still doesn't win Georgia according to my model, which I think is an underestimation of Trump. And so you could see it's very similar. Alaska is an 8 point win here. North Carolina is a 3.5 point win, similar to my prediction. Texas is a 5 point win according to the model. Trump wins Florida by about 9 points. Ohio's 11. Iowa's 9. Georgia's really, really close, but I do think that if Biden were to win the popular vote by half a point, I think Trump would still win Georgia regardless. But you could see even my model, it's pretty similar to what I have. Nevada, I also have Nevada voting to the right of Wisconsin and a bunch of different states. And according to my model, it is voting to the right of all of these states. Montana is a 14-point win for Trump on this map, which I think is an underestimation of him, to be completely honest. The model may not be perfect, but it is pretty close to what I have right now. Michigan is a win for Biden, according to this. However, if his popular vote were to, if his approval rating were to somehow get significantly worse, he would possibly not win the state of Georgia and Michigan. But as of right now, I am going to put it back to that 16.3 negative average that I do have for Biden. But you could see it's pretty similar to what I have. Trump right now is currently leading the aggregate by 2 points. I don't think this will be the final result. As of right now, it's still way too early, but I do think that Biden will do worse in the popular vote this time around. If you look at Biden's approval rating, according to RCP, it is a negative 16.2 approval rating, which is really bad. And he's currently below 40% in the aggregate, which is really bad for an incumbent president. He's currently, I think, like 4 or 5 points down for where Trump was around this time, which is really not good, especially since Trump's approval rating did go down after this. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss another video that I post. And I hope to see you guys very, very soon.